Avengers is also making claims that the government is not willing to talk to them.
So, Emeka, recent attacks on Nigeria's oil infrastructure and production have massively affected the crude oil production in Nigeria. And you've joined us for a Commodity Corner a few weeks back. So can you talk us through developments since our last discussion?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jessica. Really, there's been ongoing negotiations by the federal government of Nigeria with the Niger Delta Avengers, who are sabotaging oil installations as well as pipelines in Nigeria. And even though there were allegations or claims of agreements to a ceasefire, and towards the end of June, we noticed that the Focados, the Kwaibo, the Brass River, and some other cruise streams in Nigeria are experiencing a force majeure right now. Only the escravos and the bonelite are currently being exported out of Nigeria. And even these two cruise streams, which is the escravos and the bonelite, are facing significant loading delays. So what it is doing to Nigeria is that it's dwindling our oil revenue, and it's causing a reduction in our production. Even though there's a bit of an increase or an improvement in production for July as compared to June. In June, Nigeria's production was about 1.55 million barrels per day, but in July, as at the end of July, it increased to about 1.61 million barrels per day. So this is as a result of improvements in fixing the pipelines, and also ongoing negotiations with the Niger Delta Avengers, who are sabotaging the oil pipelines and installations. But what it's doing to the oil majors actually is that Shell just released their Q2 financials, and we noticed the significant production drop by over 40%. Their earnings as well have dropped quite significantly, and they're experiencing a shutdown of several of their producing fields, including the Trans-Niger pipeline, and it's hitting everybody hard actually. If you look at gas as well, Nigeria, most of the power firms or power generating firms utilize gas. They are thermal plants, and feedstock is only gotten through the oil pipelines, or the gas pipelines, sorry. And you notice a lot of blackouts in various cities in Nigeria because they can't really produce power. So it's affecting Nigeria in a lot of ways. Production, it's adding to the oversupply in the international market, and causing a drop in prices. It's affecting power production in Nigeria, and it's affecting revenue, and also revenue for budgetary expenditure. So in every way, even though there was a bit of an improvement in production, it's not looking good for Nigeria at this point.
Absolutely, and you can clearly see the impact that it is having. So can you just talk us through how these events have impacted the price of crude production, and is there a future outlook, and is the future outlook optimistic?
Thank you very much. How is affected crude production is that Nigeria is a prominent member of OPEC, and Nigeria was supposed to be producing, the budget production benchmark for Nigeria is about 2.2 million barrels. And we've seen Nigeria produce as little as 1.5 million barrels per day. I'm talking about per day right now. And what it does is that at times where Nigeria is producing a lot less, it could reduce reduce the oversupply condition in the international crude oil market, and slightly cause prices to edge up a little bit.
And now just take a look into the future. So the federal government of Nigeria have said they're trying to talk with the militant group and try and come to some sort of negotiations. How likely is this to happen? How likely is there to be an agreement? And how likely is the situation to be resolved?
The Niger Delta Avengers and other militants, what they actually clamoring for is greater control of the revenue that comes from the sales of crude oil, sales and export of crude oil, because they are the indigenes of the community where the crude oil comes from. Now, the government is also looking at the fact that a lot of the funding of the budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria comes from export of crude oil from these places. So there's a bit of a mismatch in priorities and also in what each group is demanding for. So what the government is saying is, we are ready to negotiate with you people. Also, the Niger Delta Avengers are saying, yes, we're also ready to negotiate. But I really don't know where the issue is right now. The government is making claims of the Niger Delta not wanting to negotiate, while the Niger Delta Avengers is also making claims that the government is not willing to talk to them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the line to provide your insights.
It's my pleasure, Jessica. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, that's all from myself and Emeka, but if you did like this interview, do like and comment on dugoscopy.tv. Goodbye for now.